All right. Well, welcome everybody to this open session for today, August 11th. As usual with these sessions, I will be here from 1 to 2 today to answer any questions that you may have about your site, or to review any processes that you might want help with, or to take a look at anything that doesn't appear to be working correctly. So if you have a microphone, you can go ahead and talk if you have any questions. Or if not, then you can type your questions into the chat channel, and I will get to them in the order that they're posted. So, with that said, just let me know what, if anything, you would need help with, and I'll be happy to take a look at it with you. Right. I see we've got 7 people in here. Anything that they're working on? Right. So if the URL is 1, then it may be because you at some point had multiple items titled adult. So to fix that, you would need to go into the rename functionality. So the way you would do that, let me log into my test site here and I can demonstrate it for you. All right, so on the, let's see, so while you're in the folder that contains the folder that's currently labeled Adult 1, then you would go to your Contents tab, and then you go down and you find your folder that you want to change the URL for, and click the checkbox next to that. And then if you go down to rename, then what it'll give you is the option to change both the title and the short name. And the short name is going to be the actual text that shows up in the URL. So if you go to that one, what you'll see is that say adult-1, and you should be able to change it there. If that gives you problems, then that may indicate that there's another content item somewhere in that same folder that already has that name, and you may have to change the short name on that one first to something else before you can choose, say, adults. And I'm going to mute everyone because I'm hearing some feedback from someone's microphone, so I apologize for that. Right, so said you tried to change the color palette on your site, but it didn't work. You're using the Sass theme, so you see. So I'm going to try to do that real quick on my test site. So I've activated the Sass theme, and then wait for a second. Because our internal server is got a little more going on. Then all right, then glad to hear it. Okay. All right. So if I change this to space gray, and so it's changed in the preview, and then I hit apply, and then go back to home. So I am seeing it update on my test site. Let's see if that's consistent. So Grace, what you may be seeing, it could really be a caching problem. So you're making the change, but because the site is cached in your browser, you may not see that change register until something forces that your browser to recache your site. So one thing that I know a number of people have had to do to see changes to their portlets on their site is to log out and log back in. Let me see if I force refresh this. Yeah, so you can see, I changed from the space gray to the sand, and it did not stick. Let me try that again. Okay. Theme is applied in the test. It's not showing up here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is try to activate a different theme, then go back to the SAS theme. Okay, so if it isn't a caching problem, then the other possibility is that there's a problem with that particular color palette, and if that's the case, then I can get our developers to take a look at that and see if there's something going on there. All right, so that's not working. Okay, so it looks like it's not allowing me to change the color palette here successfully. So let me follow up with the developers and see if this is something that they're aware of. And this is a newly implemented feature, so there may still be a few things to iron out. So I apologize for that. But hopefully we should be able to get it to start showing up correctly in short order. Okay, so I'm able to get the default to stick. Here's the iPhone blue. All right, and so that's going back to the space gray. Okay, I will check with them about that because that doesn't look like it's working correctly. So thank you for catching that, and let me make a note right now that I need to follow up with them after this meeting. And so did you see, Grace, when you saw this happening, did you see it sticking on either this gray or the white color? Virginia, is there any way to set a time? The hour or the half hour? There is not currently. I know I've had another person at one of these sessions ask about that, and so I have logged a request with our developers to see if we can do anything about that, but currently they only start on the hour and half hour. Okay. similar to what I'm seeing, that in the gray and the default will stick, but the other ones are reverting to the default or the gray. So there may be something that is messed up on those two on the. So we'll try and get that fixed as soon as we can. Thank you for your question. So we're caught up after those couple. Does anybody have anything else that they're looking at or having trouble with? Okay, I have several pics on the home page. Until the carousel feature is working, is it possible for me to make a page in the events folder and link one pic on the home page to the other pics in the events folder? Yes, I think we can do that. Can you tell me what site you're, sorry, the URL for your site? Okay. All right, so yeah, I apologize. My internet connection is a little slow today, so things are loading slowly. So one of the things that you can do is you can take one of those pictures that you want to use as like the I guess the cover for your set, and you can leave that one in the you can leave a copy of that one on the main page here, and then you can insert a link on that picture, so that will take you to the events page where you have all the rest of them. So the way you would do that is, presuming that you have these images uploaded somewhere on the site. Okay, so they're in the images folder. So one of the things that you can do is, sorry, let me scroll back up here to your homepage. So on the homepage, if you go to Edit, wait for the rich text to show up here. All right. So when you're in the editor for your page, any change that you like, anytime you want to add a link somewhere, you can just click on either the text or the image that you want to add that link to, and then you can go up here to the Insert Edit Link button. And from here, you have a bunch of options, but the one you'll be concerned with here is the internal one. So say you wanted to create you wanted to have this picture, when you click on it, link you to the to a folder in the images folder that has all of the pictures from this event. So what you would do, and again, I do apologize for my slow connection here. It's making things a little bit more difficult. So select this, click on Insert Edit Link, and then what should happen is when you click into this search box, you'll get a drop-down menu of available folders and files. And so from here, you should be able to navigate to the images folder where your images from this event are stored. So, and you can do that. So you can see I have an images folder down here. So if I click this arrow to go into it, then I have a list of all of the images here. So if I just have, if it's just that the images that I have on this page that I want to show are just uploaded straight into the images folder, then I would just want to select that itself. But if you have a subfolder that says like inside the images folder, you have another one called, like event pictures August 8th, 2015, or whatever the name of that event was, then you can select that one. But you just want to link them. Yeah. So once you've done that, then while you're in this images folder here, you can just click on that. You can click on that subfolder name, and just like this, you'll see the name appear in a little box here. And so you can also choose whether when you click on it, it opens in the same tab or in a separate tab. I usually do open a new window just so that it doesn't lose my place on the site. And then when you hit insert, then you come down to save, then whenever you click on that picture, it'll take you to that subfolder that you specified. All right, cool. Yeah, and let me know if that doesn't work, and I do apologize that we don't have the carousel functionality up and running yet, but it is something that I know that I've talked to our developers today, and it is something that they're working on to get rolled out in the near future. All right, so let me know if you have, could I go over using anchors? You know what, I can try. I have maybe purposely been avoiding doing too much of it because it's not the most straightforward thing, but let's do it. So I apologize if I stumble a little bit while I'm doing this because I haven't done it in a while. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new page to test with. All right, and on this page, so just real quick as a general introduction. So what an anchor is, it's an HTML anchor is it's basically a subsection or a subheading in your site that you can link directly to. And so that'll allow when you click on a link that uses an anchor, it will either take you to a specific spot on the page that the anchor's on, or if that anchor's on the same page you're on, it'll jump you down to that location. One of the places that you might be familiar with that is something like Wikipedia, and there's a table of contents at the top of the article. Each one of those links in the table of contents is an anchor, or is a link to an anchor that's set on the headings, the various headings throughout the article. So when you click on one of those links, it jumps you down to that anchor. So, and that same functionality is available here. It's a little bit confusing to use though. So let me see. First of all, I'll say I'll create some text, and one of the ways to establish something as an anchor is to use this subheading style, which will automatically anything that's set as a subheading will automatically register as an anchor. So yeah, so okay. So one of the things, so you can see that I added this text that just says heading right now, and I'm going to I'm holding shift right now so I can create some actual line breaks as opposed to just paragraph breaks. And then I'm going to highlight that and go to Format and set it as H2. I don't want the rest of this to be H2. All right. So that's frustrating for me. So when I set this text as in header 2 style, then what you'll see is that it gets set as an anchor that you can then add links to somewhere else. So, and when I click on this, you can see down here it says H2, and that indicates the style that it's set in. So now I'm going to jump up to this text. That's just normal body text. I'm going to highlight the part that I want to turn into a link to that anchor, and then hit Insert Edit Link. And then I'm going to go over to the Anchor tab. And when I click on the drop-down, you'll see that this heading is already there because, again, H2 subheading styled text automatically appears in the list of anchors. So I'm going to select that and insert. You can see now that it's a little hard to see on the white background, but this is turned into a hyperlink. So hit save. And then you can see that this word anchor is a link. If I click on it, it should jump down there. Yeah, there we go. So that's a basic example of setting up an anchor. And I believe that the heading 2 style is specific. Like that's a specific one that'll add it to the anchor list. I don't know that other ones will. So say I wanted to make another anchor that is not using that header 2 styling. So if I go to Insert and select Anchor, let's see what that just did. All right, so I did that slightly wrong. So like clear that out and start over again. So I've entered some text, and I want to turn it into an anchor. So if I go to Insert and go to Anchor, type in the name of it. So, all right. So that's a potential bug there. All right, so now let me see. If I highlight another word here, go to the Anchor tab. Yeah, so now I have 2 that are set up there. And if I select not an anchor, then this text turns into a hyperlink also, and when I save it, I'll be able to jump down by clicking on anchor, jump down to the heading. And if I click on down, it'll jump down to this not an anchor text. So the problem there is that if I don't have the text selected and I go to Insert Anchor and create one, then it creates the anchor, but it's an empty tag which means like there's nothing inside that tag, so there's no actual text that it's linking to, which may be a problem. Let me see. Right there, I created an anchor that doesn't have any text attached to it. And now I'm going to attempt to link to that anchor. So I'm going to do that successfully. And then I'm going to hit save. And we'll see what happens. So again, when I jump down, when I use this anchor, it jumps to the heading. When I use this one, it comes down to this not an anchor text. And when I use this one, so you don't have to have any text inside the anchor tags that you add. So basically what that says is if you want to create an anchor, you don't necessarily have to put it on something. You can just click into the text editor wherever it is you want that anchor to be created, and then whenever you want to reference it, you just highlight the place that you want to reference it from, go to the Insert Edit Link dialog, select the Anchor tab, and then choose the one that you want from the list. So does that make sense? Yeah, it is a little confusing, and that's part of why I've avoided talking about it too much. I don't remember if I have an article in the knowledge base about this. Okay, yeah, so I do. It's maybe useful. Let me see. Go to the edit view, click insert, click anchor, name your anchor, and click OK. It won't be visible, but if you look at the source code, you will see it. And then to reference it, go to edit, highlight the text or image you want to link from. That link, click the anchor tab, and choose the one you want from the drop-down menu. So it should be, yeah, that guide is correct. So you can always refer to that if you need to, and if you have problems with it, just let me know. Okay, Virginia, let's see. I can't seem to link to a folder. It will only show me pages, images, files as options. It should. That shouldn't be the case. Well, if can you tell me the URL of your site and what specifically you're trying to link? All right, White Lake. So you should be able to link to a folder. The interface may make it confusing, but it should be possible. Oh, all right, excellent. All right. So do y'all have any other questions? All right. Maybe are there any like anchors that anyone would be interested in going over? I can demonstrate anything that may be useful for y'all. Um, well, all right. Uh, if there's nothing else, I guess, I mean, there's no harm in wrapping up early. So um, I'll stick around, but I'll cut off the recording so that there's not a lot of white space at the end. So let's see. So there have been a number of iterations of the beginner webinars, and that's something as people get more used to their sites and as I get more used to kind of conducting people through them, they've changed, hopefully gotten better. And so I mean, a lot of our questions have just been around the the general appearance parts of the site. So adding site logos, changing banner themes, uploading those files correctly. Hopefully, as of last week's update, we have made all those things a lot easier. I don't know if y'all have had a chance to at the new pages that we've made available. I know we were just looking at the theme changer a little while ago. And then the site configuration page now allows us to configure some things a little bit more easily than we used to. So for one thing, you can see that my site title isn't showing up in the top header section anymore, and that's configurable on this site configurations page. You can see that I got it filled out, but it's set as not visible. Yeah, I know. We're real happy to deliver that one to y'all because I guess we didn't realize how many people would want that because they've got their names and their logos already and all this stuff. And so there are, for people who do want it visible, there are some configurations available, and we're looking at adding a few others that people have asked for. And then the site logo, instead of having to navigate to a folder and upload a file and change the name and all this stuff, all you've got to do is just go here and hit that choose file button. And then you can choose things on your computer. And if I had one of the Slate themes active, then you'd see those header image ones also. Any chances of getting borders on the portlets in the Slate theme? Well, I think that what would happen there is we would have to design a separate theme that looks kind of like the Slate theme but has the portlet borders, because I think that I know I've heard from some people who they like that they're using the Slate theme. It changes the appearance of those portlets. So we could potentially offer a new theme that's a lot like the Slate theme that has that difference. That's also something that we are working on rolling out. I was hoping that we would get it at the same time that we got the rest of this site configuration stuff, but it's not quite ready yet. But because a lot of people have said, oh, we don't really like the gray overlay that much. Can we change that? So we're working on rolling out an option to turn that off. Hopefully I'll be able to tell y'all that we have that coming soon. But I don't have a date set for it yet. No, there's no way to center the portlet titles. I don't. Yeah, I don't know much we can do about that one. All right. Anybody have any other questions? All right. Well, thank you for coming by and asking questions. And yeah, we're happy to help. Tomorrow is also a basics of editing in Cloud session. We've had a couple of those last week. I'll be doing another one tomorrow for anyone who wants to show up. That'll be just an overview of basic stuff like logging in, logging out, resetting your password, creating pages and events, navigating the help desk, just stuff like that. Let's see. Okay, if you are nice, can I overlay small images over a larger image and have them link to other items? Um, can you help understand a little bit better what you're trying to do there? There may be a way to do that, but I'm not quite sure. And also for questions that might be complicated, let's see. Okay, I want a large image to the background of the page. Okay, that's right. Add the large image to the background and the smaller items. We don't have the capability to background image for the page right now. That would be kind of a new theme, kind of like how the Slate theme allows you to create a background image for your header, whereas the Metropolis and SAS ones don't. But as far as the smaller items, I mean, you're able to insert images or text and add links to like on those, but we don't have anything that would allow you to overlay things on top of each other. Let's see. There's a few sites that I know have done a bit more advanced work, and there's some things that they've done that I've seen that I need to figure out how they're doing. For example, like I know that the admin for Dripping Springs has done his own custom setup for a manual carousel here. That's something that it's on my list to look at how he did that and see if there's a way we can provide that for everybody else. Because we do have a carousel function coming as part of our rollout, but it won't be exactly like this one. Let's see. Other good websites. I made some notes about some of them, but I don't know what I did with those notes. I know that there are a lot of people. There are a number of libraries who have been asking lots of good questions about how to use their sites. One of the things I can do is because I have been making notes about some of the sites that I see that are good. I might start a forum discussion about like sites that are good examples of how to do different things, and then that can be a discussion place for all of us to talk about like what things about those sites we like and don't like, or would like to be able to replicate. And so that might be a good way to get that discussion rolling. Yeah, I would love, I try to push I do try to push the forums as a way to have constructive conversations about this stuff, just because it makes it a little bit easier for everyone to get involved, since I know not everybody can make it to these sessions, and then we can't see each other's support tickets. So having the forums there is a great way, and you can see when I'm looking at the forums, and your view will look slightly different because I'm administrating them. But we have people chiming in and saying like, yeah, I'm having the same problems, or I'm trying to do the same things. I actually had users answer each other's questions, and that was super helpful for me. So yeah, that's something that I would be happy to support along with these sessions. Oh, okay. I will happily ignore it. Thanks for letting me know. And so again, I can continue to stay on the line if anybody has anything else that they want to bring up, and if not, thank you all for joining me.